It's the Avengers of Christmas and a Magic. We're talking Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Hit it. It was 1979. Idi Amin was deposed in Uganda. Speak-in spells were all the rage. Alien showed us that in space, no one can hear you scream. And Rudolph, Frosty, and Santa had a misadventure in a circus. I'm your host, Jerry D, with another episode of Totally Rad Christmas, the podcast that talks all things Christmas in the 80s and 70s. Toys, movies, specials, music, and fads. If it was gnarly during Christmas in the 80s, we got it covered. Now, joining me are two very special guests. You'll know them as the hosts of the bodacious bitchwatch podcast, Sly and Whitzy. Ladies, how's it going?
Good. Happy to be here.
Well, thanks for coming on. It's always exciting to meet new podcasters.
Yes. This is our first guest spot that we've done.
Oh, nice.
So we were psyching each other up just a few minutes ago. Yes, like you got this, I got this, we're good. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty relaxed here. I like to think that I'm friendly, so it's okay. You don't need to psych yourself up that much.
I do that before every recording, and I've known Sly here for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And I do that before we record our weekly show. I got this. I could do this. She won't be mean today. I'm just joking.
There are no guarantees.
I dig it. That's funny because I'm also a musician, so I've literally played like hundreds, maybe thousands of gigs. And same thing, before each gig, I get like ridiculously nervous. And it's not until I start like the first note that all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, there's no problem.
It's a vibe. Yeah.
So I get it. But
Absolutely.
it's Christmas. It's all right.
It's the happiest time of the year.
That's what I hear. Okay, so we're actually talking about Rankin Bass's Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Now, I kind of gave you some ideas, and you chose this one. Why was it that you chose this one?
Well,
Whitzy, why did you choose this one?
I was gonna say poor Sly got roped into this. When I was choosing this, as I briefly explained to you, my mother, two of my sisters, and myself all have birthdays in July, and just every year out of frustration, my father, it was always a joke, but would be upset and say, well, this year I'm moving Christmas to July. There's too many birthdays. I'm moving Christmas to July. And then you see this advertised in the summer. Growing up, ABC Family would always do Christmas in July, like special. They would do Christmas things. And when I was little, I thought, wow, my dad controls the magic of Christmas. He's pulling Christmas movies to actually play in July for us. This is insane. And now now that I'm older, I realize, of course, my father didn't do that. But
well, I mean, as far as you know, but
that's very true. As far as I know.
Yes. Oh, no. So I was just going to say, I don't really have a childhood memory attached to this, except because I'm a few years younger than Whitzy. And so I grew up with the standard Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Classic.
I thought this was a fever dream. I'm not going to lie. I thought I imagined this until we started watching it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I dreamed this up as a child. Flying snakes. Are you kidding me?
Rain snakes even.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, that's my only attachment. So
this one is bonkers. It's like next level bonkers. And I like the Rankin Bass stuff, and they're already kind of crazy, but this one is definitely over the top.
Yeah, someone felt extra that day.
I think someone who was obsessed with Halloween went, I'll take my stab and write this one. Move over, guys.
Got it.
See, it's funny you talk about not really growing up with it, because I really didn't either, actually. I mean, I was like you. I grew up with Rudolph, I grew up with Frosty, and I grew up with Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Those are like the ones that I knew. And I didn't even know this one existed until like maybe 10 years ago or so. And of course, I'm a completist, I hate it. It's terrible. It's a disease. No, but anyway, so like I had to watch it. And so I sat down and watched it, and it was crazy, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It's not like my favorite by any means, but I kind of dug it. So it's one that, now I watch every year, even though it's strange. And but at the same time, it is kind of like the Crisis on Infinite Earths, or like the the Secret Wars of the Avengers of Christmas shows. I don't know. It's strange. Yeah, but I like it. So I can't complain too much.
It's a lot of fun with friends.
Yeah, we sat down and watched it over Discord last night just to make sure we were ready to go. And I'm sure I must have seen it, but I don't remember it, or I blocked it out. Maybe I was traumatized as a child from it. So we got the fresh watch that you did 10 years ago last night. After we did some other recording, it was kind of late. We watched it and we just goofed around for the hour and a half, and it was just wait, but why is this the plot? None of this is
none of it makes sense, like, at all.
No, it opens with the ice cream, Milton, right? The ice cream guy going, I want to propose to this girl, but the circus might be closing. And we went, well, wouldn't she have more time on her hands to be a wife if she no longer works in this circus? I didn't understand the correlation for any of it.
Where I was really confused is when Laura Dern comes out of the sky. Claymation Laura Dern comes out of the sky.
It did look like her, didn't it?
Yeah.
To bless Rudolph. I was very confused. I was like, I didn't know Laura Dern was in this. This is crazy.
And he's like a baby. He's like a newborn. Like he's just born, and she's like laying all this like heavy stuff on him. Like you can't do anything wrong. Like nothing bad for the rest of your life, or you'll lose this magic.
Just zonked his mom out too, so she has no say in the matter.
She roofied his mom.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then we were also kind of confused about the design for what we assume was Rudolph's father.
Like there's a very loose continuity like between all these. They're quasi related, I guess. And so like the only way my brain as like a little kid could put it together was like to think of them as like parallel universes. So like there's a multiverse of like Christmas specials, because I'm a comic book geek. So like that made sense to me. And but like watching it now and trying to figure, fit it all in, it's like, no, it doesn't make sense at all. I mean, just the step by step. It's like there's no cause and effect. Something happens and then there's an effect, but there's none in this. It just all sorts of explosions in there. But I guess I like to nutshell it before we actually begin. So essentially there's an evil wizard who ruled the North Pole and is trying to take over again, causing Rudolph and Frosty and Santa to kind of be in a movie together. That's like the nutshell version of it.
Good job.
Thank you. I work hard on those nutshells. But it's strange because it's written by Romeo Muller, who wrote most of the Rankin Bass stuff. But it's almost like he was just, like you said, like he was, I don't know if he was high or if he was just, maybe he had a fever dream and wrote it. I don't know, but it was, it's just, it's weird.
It is.
But it does have a charm about it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was charming, but it almost seemed like he wrote it in segments. Like he wrote the first part and that made sense. Yeah. And then he wrote the next part and that made sense. But there was nothing stitching those two parts together. He started to make a quilt.
Stravinsky.
Just all over the place. He went, just throw it all together. It's fine.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those movies you want to watch while you're having some eggnog with your pals on Christmas. It's a good time though. I would definitely do it again. But there has to be eggnog.
It's funny, like, because it came out in November. It was like November of '79. I don't know why they decided to make it about July. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I think if they had taken the main elements, this evil wizard trying to take over and Rudolph and Santa and Frosty and thrown them in, but like taking the circus out and put in something else Christmassy, I think it would have done a lot better because it was released in the theaters. but it did so poorly. Like only like 2 or 3 weeks later, it was gone.
This went to theaters.
Yep, this is like their like full length feature. Can you believe that?
I assumed it was a straight to TV situation, but apparently not.
Just melted.
I just wrinkled your brain. So, yeah, usually it's the they're made for TV, but this was like their foray into cinema, I suppose.
Never to return again. Oh my goodness.
It gives me the same vibe as I believe it's Iron Man 3, because we went and watched that in the summer. I don't remember its exact release, but I'm like, why is this a Christmas movie? Why am I watching a Christmas movie right now? I'm so confused as a teenager.
Yeah. The answer to that one's actually pretty simple. Shane Black. That's why.
Okay.
he always sets his stuff at Christmas.
That's fine with me.
They're trying to plan for a DVD release at Christmas.
Ooh, yeah, let's say that. That sounds better than
it's probably real reason.
Then it's a real reason of Shane Black. This one, I don't know why they did that. I don't know. It's not like there's a Christmas in July song that they can, because they're very famous of like taking a song and then sculpting a special around it. But it's not like there's a song called Christmas in July that they took and put in this, and then
I feel like besides the circus and then the fireworks that they have, which those fireworks were next level, you don't have any idea that this happens in the summer, and then I guess all the snowmen melt, but it's still very Christmassy. There's still snow everywhere, and then it's just, oh, by the way, it's summer and now it's Christmas again, and it just was okay, I guess.
And I remember Whitzy consistently throughout the whole thing, why does Frosty matter? Why is Frosty here? Until the very end.
Legitimately the last 30 minutes. I said, I kind of get Rudolph having the plot in this because he's supposed to be good. He can't convert to evil, and he's trying to help this circus, but there was no reason for Frosty to be in any of it except that you couldn't introduce him that late in the movie for sure. Right.
Yeah. It's mostly just to give Winterbolt a reason to blackmail Rudolph, I think. I think that's it. And then later on, he actually wants his hat so he can create an army of snowmen.
And that plan got shut down in 2 minutes. That was it.
It did. Yeah, it really did. There's like no follow through with any of this stuff. It's it's very abrupt.
He's zipping back and forth to his cave, just at the very end. I believe he's at the beach, and then he's at his cave, and then he goes back to the beach. And I'm like, bro, get your stuff together, get your plan out, then go to the beach, because there's so much time lost. We could have had that army of snowmen if you weren't going back and forth.
If he'd been plotting if he'd been planning to do the army of snowmen the whole time, I need to do this, and had steps to work up to that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But he waits till the last minute and then goes, how do I foil this?
It was definitely an afterthought. It's like his whole goal really was just to make Rudolph lose his nose, I guess. And then afterwards, he's like, wait a second. And because he's talking to that creepy genie or whatever, the ice genie of the ice scepter. Which, I mean, that was scary. I mean, legit.
Oh, for sure.
As a kid, I could see myself being scared, I suppose. But he's talking to him and he's like, oh, Frosty has a magic of his own, or whatever he does. And he's like, wait a second. So if I take his hat, then I can just make all these snowmen do my bidding. And then I like how it cuts to a bunch of different Frosties.
In a mirror too, and they're just all menacingly turning, looking at the camera. Bruh, that's horrifying.
You gotta cut costs somehow.
I'm gonna, ruin this plan. Not that it worked anyway, but he only had one hat. There was more than one snowman in that army.
I thought too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I missed the part where he was duplicating the hats somehow, but I don't remember.
Next step in the plan was to open the hat factory next door.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
He didn't get that far.
Gotcha.
Well, once he takes over the North Pole, then Santa's workshop is there. He just converted it into a hat workshop. You're good.
Good point.
And he can go crazy from the haberdashery for sure.
Haberdashery. It's a good word. Haven't heard that word in a while. Kudos.
But after we watched the movie, I won't lie. We looked up the Wikipedia just to try and make sure we didn't miss something. And it says, at the beginning, Rudolph starts to lose his power because the twins ask to see his nose light up, and he can't.
Yeah, that's how it's a cold open. Yeah.
And then it says, then Santa explains why this happened, and then it moves on to the next plot point. I go, no, that wasn't the explanation. Telling me he explained it, which he did not.
No, he didn't.
It's not the explanation.
He's like, let me tell you a story.
His nose.
Yeah, it's, oh man, it's strange. They like to do those cold opens. They do it in all the other ones. Rudolph's Shiny New Year, and what is it? The Year Without a Santa Claus, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I don't think it worked. I think it should have just started with Santa explaining, like, hey, let me tell you about this time that happened, and we could have gone from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and I love Rankin Bass. They're literally like my childhood, and literally like I have to watch them every Christmas, or it doesn't feel like Christmas. But at the same time, it's like there's so much stuff that they do weird, that they could just trim a few things or like streamline some things, and it would be so much better. And I think that was definitely one of them. It stood out a lot.
Yeah, sign of the times, I guess. We got some wacky fun stuff in that time period. So
yeah, you're right. I think that's all I can say. You're right.
I think Sly and I ultimately decided the reason Rudolph's nose was starting to blink at the beginning was just because Winterbolt was standing over the side, and like evil voodooing over to him. But we were.
I like that.
It makes good. Better sense than no sense,
Yeah. Yeah, my theory was just Lady Boreal was getting weaker, and so his nose was, I don't know, just not as powerful. But I guess that doesn't explain at the end.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Just all of a sudden,
I like yours better.
Does everyone know that Rudolph's got this mark on his hoof? Because it's discussed at the beginning when he's born, when she gives it to him, and then at the very end, Frosty comes over and goes, well, Rudolph, you're marking, and picks up his foot and displays it to everyone. And it's like, well, does everyone know about this? Because this should be a secret. I feel like he would be a target if everyone knew about this.
Yeah.
Maybe not in these films.
Maybe the target's the giant red nose, Whitzy.
That's a good target, yeah. So Drew
that
Winterbolt
gives him away. You're right.
Just a little bit.
The Bumble was after him because of that. He's following his nose.
Yep.
I did like how they brought back Mickey Rooney as the voice of Santa. That was kind of cool. So I guess this was like his third iteration as Santa.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that it was him, and I was actually shocked when I was watching the credits. I was like, "What?" And it's like, "Yeah, no, he's Santa." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he's Santa in the Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and then again in A Year Without a Santa Claus, and then this one
blew my mind. Childhood, just had no idea.
So I did like that. But again, I'm like a sucker for continuity and stuff like that, which is why this is so frustrating, because they like retroactively put in like all this back mythology, and I'm into comic books. So of course I love world building. Of course I love, all the expansive myths and mythos and stuff like that. But I mean, come on, you don't throw it in like now, put it in at the beginning.
Yeah. And I agree. I'm the same way with, I'm not as much into comic books as I am, but generally TV shows, animated series, that kind of thing. So yeah, when you get that little nugget of, oh, this is why this thing is the way it is, and you just feel like you solved the world's problems.
Yeah.
But this is the opposite. Like, I feel like I have so many more problems now.
There's so many more questions. Yeah.
No, problems. We have more problems. That movie has haunted me all day.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully after this you can forget it.
I picked it. I did this to myself. I did this to both of you. This is my fault. Shame on me.
Oh, I don't mind
my stocking this year, I guess.
I wouldn't have a show called Totally Rad Christmas if I minded. So
exactly. It was fun though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a good giggle. It just was kind of all over the place. I think I won't say this was my least favorite part, because I am saving that for the end. I know your segments.
Yeah.
But as we were watching, and then all of a sudden, as we're watching, we're like more than halfway in, and then they sing the Frosty the Snowman song.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, no. At this point, we know who this guy is. We don't need this song, and not now. I understand everyone wants to sing Frosty, but why wait till now to do this?
It's one of it's just a hallmark of Rankin Bass. You just got to throw some songs in there, and that's about it, I guess. I don't know.
I found the, I guess, quote unquote original songs for this one, as in they haven't been in previous iterations.
Right.
Were very fascinating.
Maury Laws. So I'm actually friends with Rick Goldschmidt, who's like the official Rankin Bass biographer. He's written I think like 7 books on Rankin Bass. He knew Arthur Rankin. He knew like a lot of these cats, man. And
is he okay?
He is. Yeah, he's actually a cool guy.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, he's actually a pretty cool dude. But so he was, Maury Laws is like one of his friends and stuff, and he was telling me about him. And what I really enjoyed about Maury Laws is that sometimes he just writes like some bangers, like the Heat Miser Snow Miser song. I mean, that's like ridiculously catchy. It's so good. But then you get some of these other ones, like Now and Then, that just they don't work. It's like, Maury, like come on, guy, like maybe take another pass at it or something.
It's like, nope, I have my deadline. This is it, man. I'm done. I'm out.
Maybe he waited till the last minute. Like, oh, the movie's coming out next weekend. Oh, gotta write.
I loved the Rudolph song whenever he gets found out.
No bed of roses. Yeah,
no bed of roses. That's it. I apologize. I'm terrible with song names.
So it's okay. I only know it because I'm looking right at it. So.
God bless you.
I committed that one to memory. I liked that one.
Did you really?
Not the lyrics, the title name. name.
Okay. Yes.
But the lyrics spoke to my depression, and I was like, I'm right there with you, Rudolph. I feel you, bro.
It's been a rough year, man.
We lit lighters and we're singing along.
Waving lighters in our room separately, yes. It was a good time.
Yeah, the songs for me in these Rankin Bass specials are usually hit or miss, and I like again that they kind of reprised that We're a Couple of Misfits. So that was kind of cool. And then of course you got the Rudolph song and all that. But yeah, most of the other ones, the originals, they didn't do it for me personally. No. But yeah.
That was the only one that stood out. So
I did like when the little children were singing I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. That felt like really Christmassy to me.
Yes.
And I think there was Rocking Around the Christmas Tree was one of them too. But that one was okay.
Yeah. See, I have this weird I have a weird thing about very traditional Christmas like carols and movies where I feel like the two media shouldn't mix. So of course you're going to have Frosty in this movie and you're going to have Rudolph in this movie. But to hear like a traditional Christmas song with this like campy Christmas movie, I almost feel like, why are we trying to mix these two?
There was a lot of tonal. Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of tonal like inconsistencies, like they couldn't just settle on their tone.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of see that in a lot of their specials, especially when you see things like the Leprechaun's Christmas Gold. Oof. Yeah, that one's rough.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no, y'all are gonna have to go look it up now.
No. You cursed us once again.
Take like a month, and then go watch it.
Breathe. Yeah.
Know what I'm doing next St. Patrick's Day.
It really is like a St. Patrick's Day special. I mean, the Christmas of it is like so ham-fisted. I mean, it's ridiculous. But
see, I don't understand why they didn't just go for different holidays. Just commit. Yeah. I understand going for Christmas in July, but just commit.
Yeah. Well, and they did like 3 Easter specials. They did like 2 Thanksgiving specials. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I actually didn't know about those. So that's something else to look into. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Please stop this trend. I can't commit to these. That's not what our show's going to become.
I'm going to bring up everything so you guys can watch it. No,
yes.
I won't. I won't be that mean. But yeah, so it has that cold open, and then we cut to like Santa explaining, as you were talking about, and we get like Winterbolt, and we see him like being, I guess, the tyrant of the North, where he's like, shooting random people with his ice blasts. And I really dug the design of his ice dragons.
Yes.
Those are kind of
so
cool. Yeah, those are I
Yeah.
kind of dug.
Mhm.
You know, but for what it was for the time. Nowadays, you know, of course, if you were to do it all CG or something, I'm sure they'd be like pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for the time they kind of held up. Maybe
Mhm.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
They're
I think
better
they're
than
super
the snakes
cute.
that come later.
They are better than the rain snakes
Rain snakes.
because he has reindeer.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Oh.
But so we see him like doing his thing, and then that's when who was it? Laura Dern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern comes in, and she's like, she is the Aurora Borealis, like taking
Mhm.
corporeal form
Mhm.
In Laura Dern's body.
Laura Dern's body.
And almost her voice. It was really close.
There was a weird affectation too. She's like, nothing lasts forever. You know, it's like a strange, I don't know,
Do we-
accent that she
Do
does.
we think Laura Dern has based her personality around this character in this film?
I do now.
Because that's kind of just the way she talks. You know, her voice falls out of her face.
I only really remember her from Jurassic Park. So
Oh, she's so good in. I believe it's Twister. Unless I've
I
lost
think
my
that's
mind.
Helen Hunt.
Is it Helen Hunt? Oh no! See, my brain is that of a newborn goldfish. Sorry.
Laura Dern was also in one of the
Or a newborn reindeer.
one of the last Star
Newborn
Wars.
reindeer.
I think she was.
Oh
in
yeah, that's right. I forgot. She was
Episode
in,
8.
like Hondo or something, right? Hondo. I don't know.
Sure, she's
not
in
my
that
favorite
ship.
Star
She goes out in that ship that explodes, and
Yeah.
she
Mhm.
like volunteers.
Yeah,
herself
she like
as tribute.
kamikazes it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they've accentuated how long her neck is in that film. I think.
With the purple hair, right? I think it's like
Yeah.
lavender
Yeah.
or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I do kind of recall. I only saw it once because I didn't like it very much.
Yeah, she was friends with Leia.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she has a thing with Poe where they like don't like each other or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Don't remember why, but yeah.
Because no one likes Poe. But that's not. I mean, people love Poe.
I think Finn likes Poe. I don't know.
Yeah, people who have to actually
Poe.
work with Poe don't like Poe. Everybody else. I also have a cat named General Hugs because that's what he called General Hux. So, you know, it is what it is. We're
All
getting
right,
off
I gotcha.
the topic here. I'm so sorry.
You know what?
Christmas. We're
It's
here
not
for
a-
Christmas.
It's not a podcast if you don't go off topic a little bit. So
True.
So it's okay. Yeah. So Lady Boreal, I guess, is like super powerful that she like puts him to sleep.
Yeah.
He even asks, he's like, forever? And she's like, well, no, not forever, but
She didn't take
like,
his
why
scepter
would you tell
away.
him that? Just say yes.
She didn't take his scepter away either.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Girl,
you put him to sleep, like take his power.
yeet
or-
that thing into the ocean, bruh. Put it on an iceberg. I don't know. Figure it out.
Cast it
Give
into
this
the
movie a
sun.
plot. Give this movie a plot and have him have to go back and find
He
it.
has to go find his scepter. Yeah. I dig it.
I just fixed
I
this
like
film.
that.
You're welcome.
And that's why he needs Rudolph, because Rudolph has the nose that can
And he can
Yeah.
fly.
he can go find his way. And
Uh,
something about army of snowmen. I don't
yeah. And that's evil because he's helping evil. Done. Rewrite. We're
Boom.
good.
know. Boom. We fixed it.
Yep. Yep.
Good
That's
job.
why
y'all.
you wanted to talk with us about this,
That's
right? So we
exactly
could
right.
fix
Yep.
it. Yeah.
It's all part of my plan to rewrite this. Yeah. So time goes on, I guess. Santa comes in and they kind of go back. They show like okay, so there's like a big deal about at the end of Santa Claus is coming to town where they're like heading up north, you know, and all that. And he's got the Kringle elves with him, and he's got like that Amish beard and stuff. In
Mhm.
this one, he actually has a mustache, which I thought was weird. And instead of the
Yeah.
Kringle elves, he's got like Jingle and Jangle.
Mhm.
So this is why I always like my brain is like, oh, that's another universe. It's a whole different universe, man. You know, it's Earth
Yeah.
2 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
Seeing inconsistencies like that drive me insane. So I completely understand what you're talking about.
yeah.
That's the whole premise of our show.
Ugh.
So yeah, we'll be talking about the multiverse here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But in this case, yeah, they show him come in. He grows old, whatever. Winterbolt kind of wakes up and he's like, "Hey, someone's in my turf," and so I'm gonna cause like a big old snowstorm and prevent him from doing good, I guess. And so we get another retcon, and you know that's like that why there's a big snowstorm at the end of Rudolph. Luckily, Lady Boreal, even though she's losing power, she can't like be physical anymore. I guess. Okay, I said that wrong. She can't. That sounds terrible.
She can't be in a physical form. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
She's not Olivia Newton-John. We get it.
Although that does fit with the theme of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, she can't be corporeal, and so as her power is fading, she bequeaths some of it to Rudolph with that sign that you were talking about on his hoof. And gives him all those, all that, like, okay, you can't be bad at all, ever, not even once.
Said
and
every
so
dear officer
he
ever.
has his power and he's able to lead. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
That's the way Dare was. They'd come into fourth grade and, terrify you, do drugs once and you die. Which I've never even tried a cigarette, so it worked on me. Thanks, Dare officer.
I was homeschooled. I didn't get that.
I got it. Worked on me too. It's like, no, I don't want to die. Or that one, and also the this is your brain, the egg, and then this is your brain on drugs.
Yep.
Got me every time. Yep. So okay, his plan failed. So he's like, all right, I got to come up with like something new. And so he consults with his genie of the ice scepter, which is Thurl Ravenscroft's voice, I believe, by the way. So Tony Tiger, sang the Grinch song.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
He's got that. I can't do it. I was gonna try to do it, but I can't. I'm not a bass. He's got that deep bass that's just like, wow. You hear it. But so he tells him, all about Rudolph and Santa, and he's like, so Winterbolt. This is where we get the weird plot with Milton and the circus. This is why we need July, I guess.
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So he shows him Milton, who's in love with Lainey Lorraine. Lainey, yeah, and she's a trapeze person, high wire dancer, whatever. I don't know what they're called. At the circus, the circus is having financial troubles. He's not sure how he's going to marry her now if she doesn't have this circus job. I don't know.
That's the part that doesn't make sense to me the most, I think, in all of this. Are you expecting a dowry for her? Is that where we're at? I just feel like exposing children to, well, this family has money issues and, they're too poor to get married is really dark.
And yet, so accurate.
Yeah.
Homegirl wants a honeymoon. That's why they can't get married.
Yeah. I mean, and I think when she talks about Milton, her mom is even like, oh, forget about him. He's just an ice cream man or something like that.
Yeah. I guess maybe because he works at the circus selling ice cream, so he couldn't sell ice cream otherwise, but he's got a hot air balloon.
Wait,
so
he sells ice cream at the circus?
I thought that was the
I don't know if he sells ice cream at the circus or if he just sells ice cream. But
sorry.
Well, I know it's okay.
No,
but
none of us know.
If
they
it is
don't
like
know either.
The former, if it is he sells ice cream only at the circus, then is that like the lowest rung of like the circus hierarchy of jobs?
I don't know. I saw a clown polishing a juggling pin, so I think that's the bottom of the barrel, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
he at least gets to date the head lady's daughter. Poor clown's over there just like alone in a corner.
So maybe it's like second from the bottom.
Yeah.
Second or third. Yeah. There we go.
We're forgetting the person who has to clean up after those elephants. That's got to be bottom tier.
That's also the clown.
Yes.
Probably the clown. Yeah.
That's why they're so sad.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't go that route. I remember at one point thinking like it'd be fun to be in a circus. I'm glad not fun at all.
No.
So Winterbolt, and this is like one of his cool powers. I think he's actually kind of a cool wizard. He like takes some snow and he's able to like inception somebody, like with the snow. He just like implants thoughts in their heads, which he's also able to do to Santa. And you'd think Santa's like this magical, figure. But no, I mean, in the end, it's just he's, I guess, a regular guy because
that's kind of
can control him too.
That's the kind of the cool thing about this iteration of Santa Claus is that Santa Claus, I mean, while Santa is magic, but he's almost an everyman in this. So it is kind of cool that he can be intercepted by magic because typically Santa's top dog and every other.
But homie literally has flying like clear corn to feed to his reindeer. So where did he get that?
The magic feed corn, yeah.
And it's clear. That's what blew my mind. It's clear, or it looks clear.
So they mention in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, there's the Winter Warlock. There's like a lot of Rankin Bass has a lot of like winter evil wizard kind of guys in their catalog. Nice. And so I always kind of picture Winterbolt as like Morgoth, and like Winter Warlock as like Sauron, he's like his underling. I don't know how accurate that is, but again, that's like what my geeky brain can kind of like wrap around it. But so that's where he got the feed corn from. So I wonder if it's actually like part of Winterbolt's like arsenal. He's like showed Winter Warlock how to do it. I don't know, but it's kind of cool to think about it.
Yeah, I want that backstory.
Right?
That backstory.
Yeah. Let's see the fall of Winterbolt.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I just want to see Wizard Training Camp. Give me that cutaway for 5 minutes instead of hearing the Frosty winter song.
It's like Harry Potter in the North.
Yeah. That's all I need.
Ice.
5 minutes of that backstory, then I'm good.
I can dig that. Yeah, I don't need to see another song that's not as great.
We all know who Frosty is and how that hat worked. We get it. I want Wizard Training Camp.
Well, see, and then there's another plot point, because at the end of Frosty's Winter Wonderland, he's able to come back to life without the hat. It's like the love of Crystal brings him back to life.
You're right.
So like, why does he even need the hat?
Maybe he doesn't love her as much in this.
They've got 2 kids.
He doesn't love him as much.
Gone.
That spark is gone. I get.
Sorry, that's really morbid. Speaking of morbid things with marriage.
I get it.
As you can tell, this movie left us in a great place.
Oh man. Milton comes in. He's like, all right, I can't get married, but maybe you guys can help me, with this whole circus failing marriage thing. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. We always wanted to go to see the circus. And this is where Winterbolt, this is where he comes in, and he's like telling Frosty, like, hey, I have these magic amulets that will keep you, not melty in the south. And they're just like, cool, let's take it. And when later on they're talking to Santa about it, he's like, I don't know anybody named Winterbolt.
Red flag number 1.
Right?
Don't talk to strangers number 2.
Well, considering Santa's got everyone on a list that he checks not once but twice, and he's never heard of Winterbolt.
Never heard of this Winterbolt guy. Yeah.
Red flag. He's using a fake name. He isn't who he says he is. Run.
That's true. He's supposed to know everything about all the children, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Winterbolt couldn't have been born old. Maybe he was born old. Maybe he's Benjamin Button. See, this is what I want to know.
I don't think he's Benjamin Button. I still think he's Morgoth. I think he's literally the personification of the devil in this.
I like that. I like that better.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I wouldn't mind a good Benjamin Button in the North Pole story.
Oh my goodness.
No. Then there's a whole thing where they go south and try to save the circus. I'm going to kind of skip some of that because it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Santa and Mrs. Claus are like, hey, I feel, we haven't been on a vacation. Let's go see the circus too. And so they're going, and Winterbolt has his dragons do their thing. And so they get lost, and they have to like come down to the ground and then just make their way on the ground instead of flying. Mm-hmm. And of course it takes them forever, and they're late when it's time. Spoilers. They're late to rescue Frosty and his family. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they have, what is it? They have until the final firework fires on the 4th. Is that what it was?
On the 4th.
Yep. I just did that tongue twister before we went on air, and I was shocked.
That's like when his amulet's magic is going to expire or something. The final firework fires on the 4th.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
I did like the design though. I thought the production value, for the time and for the animagic style was pretty good. I like the design of that. It was like the 4 Fs that kind of intertwined to make it look like a little snowflake kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of
it was
neat.
really cute.
Yeah.
I also loved, this is side note, but also detailing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. The wizard, the mean wizard guy.
Winterbolt.
Winterbolt, thank you. Newborn reindeer out here.
Your brain's already trying to push it away. Like,
Don't turn
get
evil.
out.
You
Get
can't
out.
do anything evil.
His cheeks were so detailed, and just everything
They
about
were,
his
yeah.
face. I just wanted to look at him just move
Yeah.
because it was just so good, and like the lighting bouncing off of his cheeks, it was beautiful.
Yeah, you could tell they'd quite evolved on their style compared to like that very first Rudolph one where Santa's eyes are just little dots, you know. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But
just
then
really good.
In this, everyone had blue eyeshadow.
They
Or
did,
eyeliner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every single character.
Yeah.
I'm picturing. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up here. I'm picturing Santa like one of those magicians in Vegas, you know, with the eyeliner and just, I don't know. It's
Just overdrawn.
yeah, it's just, oh man, it's terrible.
The $5 magicians, not the actual like Chris Angel selling out rooms.
No, he uses black eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
So
my bad.
it's not one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
my issue with the fireworks scene was, Frosty's nearly having a panic attack as
Yeah, he's
the
not really
fireworks
enjoying
are
the
getting-
fireworks.
they're getting higher and higher and higher, and he's counting all of them. And at one point he drops this bomb that I can only count to 4. But he's counting all of them and doing them now. Oh, I only have 27 left. I only have this many left. And he's going. And finally he gets to 96, and I go, okay, this is the only place you should know how many you have left, since you can only count to 4. Those are words that came out of your mouth. Please.
Yeah.
I think there's a scene in the original Frosty where he's counting. He's trying to count to 10, and he gets through 5, and then after that he's like 8, 6, 7, 10, 9, and he's like, well, I can count to 5. So that's kind of a quasi callback. I don't know.
Someone's like, wait, what was that joke we wrote several years ago? He could only count to that number. All right, fit it in.
Well, and it didn't help that like most of the dolls and everything after they were done, they would just like throw them in the trash, you know.
Oh.
Or they'd be like, hey, does anybody want these? And like some people would take them home, but they would just junk just about everything.
No.
Crazy.
I know, right? Like that's such a shame. There's very
think
few of the stuff left over.
You'd think that like they'd have saved it after a couple of them, but and like all of this publicity because they're classics now, they'd be worth a fortune.
Yeah, they had to. I think the original Rudolph figures were given to like their secretary, and then she let her kids play with them and her grandkids, and then they were up in an attic, and then they restored them like a few years ago because they found them at like an auction, like one of those antique roadshow auction things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So they're actually restored now in the hands of I believe a collector. But I mean, it's one of those like why, man? It gets me.
Like I can buy you a $5 Walmart tub, bruh. Like just put them in there.
Toss them in.
Close the lid. That's all you
Don't put
gotta
them in
do.
the attic. You're fine.
Yeah. You do some like of those silica packets.
Yeah.
You can buy a box of
Jessica's-
shoes and get those silica packets for free. Just throw
There
those
you
in.
There you go. Everybody needs shoes. I'll just save the box next time.
Christmas shoes, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't talk about Christmas shoes.
Anyways.
I don't
It's the
have
saddest Christmas song I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh no, that one. Oh yeah. Yeah, no thanks.
Cursed.
Yeah.
No, that's why I stick with the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong decade.
It's okay. So like then there's like a subplot where Winterbolt gets a like drugged out reindeer named Scratcher.
Yep.
I love him.
Yep. I think
To
he was
like
my
mess
favorite
with
character.
Rudolph while all this is going down.
Mhm.
And then also there's a guy named Sam Spangles who's like trying to take over the circus.
Mhm.
So there's like these weird subplots. It's just like, does it really need it? I mean, I don't think it really needs it.
Mm-mm. No.
I mean, I guess kind of Scratcher because he's the one that tricks Rudolph. But I mean, there's got to be another way to make it more linear and coherent.
According to the Wikipedia, and maybe I missed this last night. Surely I missed this last night, but according to the Wikipedia, it said that Scratcher had it out for Rudolph because he was supposed to be hired, and then he got fired because Rudolph was going to be better. And so there's a bit more backstory that we don't have besides someone telling it to us.
That's what Scratcher says, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did tell us that he also got fired because I think he ate a box of candy canes.
He does say that, yep.
The other big thing that I missed, and I'll point this question to you, is so Scratcher comes by, has Rudolph steal that money that's supposed to help save the circus.
Yeah.
Where does that money come from?
I guess it's people that are going to see the circus.
Yeah.
Ticket sales. Just ticket sales. Okay.
But, okay, I have a huge question. Okay, so... yeah, well, okay. I guess it's not really that huge. It's not really important. But I mean, like, if you don't know you're doing something wrong, like, does that count as you turning evil or doing, I mean, I guess like maybe objectively it's still bad, but like there's mitigating circumstances, I would think.
Yeah. To me, oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, to me, evil is a state of being, not just a singular action, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So if he did it in his heart, meaning well and helpful, I don't see that as being evil. And I think Lady Boreal needs to chill.
It's like a weird rule, because as soon as they kind of explain what happened, then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, your magic's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
My question was,
Exactly.
if you steal a loaf of bread because your child is hungry, are you a thief or are you trying to feed your kid?
That's too deep, man. I need to go back to Scratcher.
Let's talk about ice dragons. Yeah.
I had this question. The question was posed on a podcast that I listened to earlier this week, and the host brought it up as like a legitimate question, but all I could think was Les Mis, because that's why Jean Valjean is a slave to begin with at the beginning, is because he stole a loaf of bread to feed his sister's kid. And it just, I don't know that people are doing that in this day and age, but here we are. But yeah, it just goes along with, if you're trying to do the right thing, does that make you a bad person because you accidentally did something bad? I guess it's a little different, but yeah, I don't think Rudolph is just should be deemed evil because he didn't know he was doing naive, sure, but evil, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, well, why? He wasn't being bad. He wasn't being evil. So why did his nose go out? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So
like, even in video games, man, if you're going on like an evil tree, you got to make a series of decisions to go down that path. It's not just one thing and, oh, now I'm the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't know, but
so many questions.
So many problems. So Rudolph is tricked into giving the box office sales, which would save the circus, to Sam Spangle, who's dressed as a cop. And now I do know impersonating a police officer is a crime. So that's why he's arrested later on.
Good. With his disco hat. I don't want to hear it.
Well, when you got a name like Spangles, you gotta have a nice hat.
You gotta dress the part.
He was a lot. There was a lot about that man. I don't know.
Yeah. But I do love how when they discover that all the money's gone and it was Rudolph, he confesses because, like I said, Winterbolt blackmails, blackmails him. I love how Frosty wants to explain, like, well, no, it's because, whatever. And Rudolph cuts him off. And I love how Crystal, Frosty's wife, is like, come on, kids, we don't associate with that, with that reindeer.
I'm not going to say that was something I was going to talk about later, but...
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That may have been someone's gagging with a spoon, but
that's okay. It still can be.
But that was a mwah. Also, why did Rudolph make him stop? Like, let Frosty explain what the heck's going on here.
Well, I think it's because if he did, then Winterbolt would like make them melt immediately or something. I don't recall.
You do that for your homie, though. Or
maybe selling his friend out or letting his friend take the blame would be the evil thing.
I don't know.
Maybe he thought he was doing right by covering for his friend. That's what you do for a true friend. You cover.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know either. All I know is Rudolph eventually he gets his his mojo back, and
After a sad ballad,
yeah, well, you got to have a sad ballad. I mean, that's how everybody gets their mojo back.
rubbing his face in some glitter.
But Frosty tries to like do the nice thing too, and he goes back to Winterbolt, and he's like, hey, what do you need to clear my friend? And he's like, give me your hat, because I want an army of evil snowmen. Yeah, so there's a lot.
Sam. Remember him as he was, children. Crystal had some baller lines in this.
Lines.
Well, the other thing right in that moment is right before he lets Winterbolt take his hat, he's staring at him, and he also looks over to his left where he can see the silhouette of his wife and the children, and he goes, "Oh, Crystal, if only I could see her one last time." And I go, "She's within walking distance, my dude. Walk over there. Tell her you got to do a thing. You got to dip, and you're going to give away your hat. Just tell her goodbye." I wish I could see her one last time. He acted like she was in Florida or something. He could see her. Walk those little fat legs over and go.
Yep. I don't know, man.
50 yards, man. 50 yards and a 10 flap away.
Oh, true. 50 yards. I wouldn't do it either. He could have shouted, "See you later, Crystal." I don't know.
Hey, Crystal.
I got a dip for a minute, bro.
Come here, baby. Come here.
The kids, I love them.
But while he's doing that, Rudolph talks to like Big Ben, and he like gets the lowdown. Big Ben from Rudolph's Shiny New Year, and he's that big whale with the clock,
on his tail. Yep.
His tail, yeah. And so he's like, he gets an idea. He's like, hold on, I'll be back in a second. And so he's like splits, and of course we find out he comes to bring Jack Frost. Mm-hmm. Which I like this version of Jack Frost, because in Frosty's Winter Wonderland he was like that mischievous, kind of bad, and then at the end they make him the best man and he like turns good again, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so I like that they kind of kept that going.
Yeah.
But the colors of his costume kind of bothered me. They were a little too blue compared to the other one.
Yeah, he looked a little. There wasn't enough different shades. I think was the problem.
Yeah, that's what it was. And especially when you compare it to like because that same year Jack Frost came out. And so it's like, well, why didn't you just use the same puppet?
Because it's in the dumpster.
I was gonna say, according to you, they threw it away.
Because they threw it. That's exactly why. Yeah.
Jack is making a landfill very frosty right now. So
she'll be here all week.
What did he look like? I don't remember. He was blue, I think. Just start to get. They won't remember.
Get it done. We only have 3 more months.
Just like the songs.
That's right. Yeah, quick, churn them out. So Rudolph, he gets his confidence back. His nose is doing its thing, and he like flies and confronts Winterbolt and fights his snakes and all that stuff. And then I like how he basically defeats him, and he gets the hat back, and Winterbolt just kind of like goes.
Yeah. He's just gonna hang out with his snakes in a cave.
Yeah,
talking to a wall.
Well, I mean, seemed pretty smart for a wall.
Well, yeah. Good conversationalist, but still, it's a wall.
That's true.
And for the first like half of the movie, I thought the wall was the boss, and then finally, I think at one point he's like, "Yeah, good idea, my master." And I go, "No, what? Like, why?" He was asking the wall for so much advice, only to find out that he's the boss. Like, the wall isn't in control here.
Yeah.
It was a little.
Well, he's a genie, so I mean, I guess he'd be more powerful. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess,
but he's still technically like enslaved to Winterbolt if he's a genie. So
yeah.
Oh, but remember, he's the genie of the ice scepter. So when his ice scepter breaks, is he set free?
That's a great question. And he just comes back and just beats Thunderbolt, just whacks him around.
Well, Thunderbolt.
Well, he's a
Winterbolt becomes a
Winterbolt,
tree.
not Thunderbolt.
I started to say it. Winterbolt becomes a tree, so maybe the genie comes back and cuts him down.
Which, okay, that's another thing. So all of a sudden, like, she throws the pistol at and breaks his scepter. because she only uses blanks, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then there's like this thing introduced out of nowhere about, when my stuff breaks, I become a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did that
That was
come
horrifying.
from?
At midnight last night, I was scared. I am 25 years old, terrified.
Oh man. Now I feel old. But okay. But it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, just like this random detail, like, okay, why not?
Yeah, that genie, when that eye scepter broke, he comes out of that cave tossing an axe, just juggling it all the way to the sea.
I've been waiting for this one, boys.
Then joins the circus, and then he lives happily ever after.
Yeah. That's why they
That's
all
canon.
get to fly
That's
at
canon
the end.
now. I like that.
But
Oh,
yeah,
man. Of
I
course,
did like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This is just talking about the end where Jack Frost is in the sleigh. So sorry if I'm jumping ahead of you.
You are, but that's okay. Go ahead. I like it.
I loved the joke. I
Just
think
blowing
Whitzy.
on
Witzy's like, oh look, they got AC. That's so nice.
Well, it's funny because he's literally just blowing on them. He just
Yeah, keep them up.
Papa Mint. I hope he got some spearmint, wintergreen,
It
something.
definitely would be wintergreen. It would definitely be wintergreen.
Yep.
Except it would be like a weird trademark Jack Frost Winter Blue.
There you go.
Sorry if I jumped ahead. But.
No, that's okay. But yeah, so essentially killing Winterbolt made his magic go, and so Frosty and everybody they just melted. They died.
Yeah.
But luckily, Jack Frost arrived on Big Ben and was able to bring them back, as long as he just keeps blowing on them.
Yeah.
And Santa comes, and then he takes them all back, and
Oh,
good.
happily ever after.
and Rudolph's going to stay with the circus to help them get back on their feet.
Does he
Hopefully-
rejoin?
Yeah.
Like he's got to have a deadline. Like, all right, Rudolph, it's July. You can finish up here, but I'm
You
gonna
got to
need
be
you
back
back.
Christmas Eve.
I'm gonna need you back here soon.
Well, I guess he doesn't really need Rudolph except when it's like really snowy, right? Really blizzardy.
I guess.
So, I
But-
mean, he saved Christmas once. He's on vacation now. I don't know.
So
Maybe.
Rudolph's only a part-time reindeer.
Dang. Scratcher got his job back.
There you go.
Hey,
Oh. Can you imagine Scratcher leading that pack?
Nope.
no.
I can't.
Can we also discuss the fact that Scratcher is like a scratch off of like lottery ticket, and he like is ugly. He lost his job. Like he all around has no luck. Like he's the bad Scratcher.
Poor
Can't
guy.
pay his rent.
He can't pay his rent. Well, where is he in the cave of? Oh gosh,
Oh.
I wrote it down. The cave of lost rejections.
Yes.
Lost rejections. That's
Which
it.
I was like, dang, that's
harsh.
me.
I expected to see
Savage.
the Grinch somewhere in there, but the Grinch and Max like hanging out.
Oh.
Well, but the Grinch was redeemed at the end too. So
That's true.
Yeah.
mhm.
Also, don't talk about my boy Max that way.
Max
He's
is
not
pretty
rejected.
awesome.
She only
He's
watched
always
How the
in my
Grinch
heart.
Stole Christmas for the first time last year.
Okay.
No,
The Jim Carrey version. Let me correct.
Oh yeah, that's okay. You don't ever have to see that one.
I
Oh,
liked it,
that one's great. That one's like my childhood as well.
but I have religiously, ceremoniously watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas every Christmas since I was
Yeah.
born. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah,
no,
that's
the
a
Jim
animated
Carrey
one.
one's the Jim Carrey one's still important.
yeah, it was good.
It's definitely lower for me on my.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's good.
But you
I just
you
said it
seem
was
like
important.
you
There's
seem
a
like a
difference.
purist to me.
I am
you know?
a purist.
So
I like to
it
see
makes-
things as close to the original as possible.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Bucky become Captain America before Sam, honestly, but okay,
have
I
no
understand why
opinion
they
on
did.
this.
Sorry, spoilers.
That's fine.
Oh no, I don't care.
Okay,
I don't care.
Oh,
I'm
cool, even
sorry.
better. No, good. That's okay.
I heard that was probably what was going to happen. And I was like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
No opinion.
Okay,
I don't
cool. Well, yeah, it does make more sense for Sam to do it, but I kind of wish Bucky did it first, just because he was at first in the comics. But that's just me.
I love Bucky.
So, yeah, I
Your
do too.
opinion is right here, sir.
Your show. You
That's
got all the
right.
right opinions.
That's right. Why am I apologizing? Yeah. So this is a, it's an interesting special. They got a lot of the original voices. Billy Mae Richards was Rudolph. Jackie Vernon was Frosty again. Mickey Rooney I
Mhm.
mentioned.
Mhm.
and then of course Ethel Merman, Paul Frees, and all those cats that Paul Frees especially, he's like in everything that Rankin Bass does. But like, it does make me kind of wonder, like, what would you guys say would be like your happiest memory or moment of watching this? Now, probably not memory since you just saw it, but what would be your happiest moment?
When it was over.
Oh my Lord.
Just joking. No, we laughed the whole time. Like, that was the thing. It was so like, we called it an acid trip because it is. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
But we had such a fun time watching it, laughing over it. I may have been a margarita deep, but it was fun. And
probably helped.
Yeah. Well, there have been moments where you said something and I went, I don't remember that happening at all, but okay, sure. But no, I just think we had such a good time laughing and watching it. I don't know that I would watch it by myself ever.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
The moment I watched this by myself, someone call a doctor, my husband, someone to check on me. But I would, in a heartbeat, I would watch this again with someone. And preferably, I think, with someone who had never seen it, so I could just be like, no, watch this. It's gonna get crazy.
There's a tree.
See that man? He's not a man.
Right on.
I think like Whitzy said, it was a blast watching it, and I would totally watch it again. I kind of want to put it into my Christmas cycle just because. But my favorite moment, I think it has to be sad Rudolph just sulking, singing that sad song in the dressing room. And I'm like, oh man. But I was kind of amazed at how much it tugged at my heartstrings a little bit, I guess it's not happy, but it was a very memorable thing. And yeah, it made me want to watch it again. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and I think I would want to go back and watch the others within this collection that I maybe haven't seen, like all the other ones that you've mentioned. And I'm like, well, I don't even know that this is a thing. And I would want to go back and revisit the other ones that I did see. Like, I know I've seen the Jack Frost one. I know I've seen the different Rudolph ones. They've all kind of, I think before this conversation, I may not have remembered that there were individual ones because in my brain, they all have all meshed into one big piece.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
I think maybe because they all play on like a marathon during like Christmas season. So in my brain, if I sat at home one Saturday and watched them all play one right after the other, they probably have melted in my brain as one individual mesh. But it would be interesting to go back and watch them all and go, this is this one, and be able to recall them separately.
Yeah, because I know when I said that this was like, I thought this was a fever dream I had as a child, and I made up flying rain snakes. Sorry.
It's hard to say.
It's funny every time.
With a straight
hard
face.
to say it. I really tried, and then I just busted up laughing. But there are other parts I expected to see in this that weren't in this. So that's tickling my brain as to, ooh, there is something else that I saw that I want to see where it came from.
The giant flying bird, the giant flying vulture.
Yeah, and then just some other weird stuff. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I agree that as a child watching these probably on TV, they just kind of meshed, or I thought I imagined it. So it'd be fun. We should do that for Christmas.
There you go.
Christmas special right here.
Yeah. Is the Frosty one the one where he goes off on a train?
Okay. Yep. With the rabbit and the little girl Karen.
She's about to pop a blood vessel.
I only remember the train.
I can actually see the gears turning in your
I only remember the train.
I think for me, it would be, because like I said, I watched this about 10 years ago, but I think it was watching it with my oldest, my 8-year-old, when she was, this had to be about 4, because I didn't want her to see it like too young, because that the genie and then the tree would probably freak her out.
And 4 was old enough for you?
Well, I mean, I'm from the 80s, I mean, we saw Gremlins when we were 4,
I watched Goonies. Are you kidding me?
The Goonies, yeah,
Oh, horrifying.
One-Eyed Willie, but she was fine, of course, but but I think watching it with her kind of made it more special. So that would probably be my memory. But now we come to my favorite part of the show, which is a little segment I like to call Gag Me with the Spoon. So this is where we do our best impression of our least favorite part of the movie. And I'll let you listeners vote, and winner will get a totally rad Christmas sticker unless I win, in which case I get nothing, but I think you're fine. I'm about 75 episodes deep and I still haven't won yet. So you'll probably be getting some stickers soon.
Sweet.
Guest,
good luck.
So yeah, as a guest, I'll let you go first. Just kind of set up the scene a little bit. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Well, do you want to go first, Sly, since yours was kind of ruined?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go first. So the scene, betrayal, is in the air. Rudolph has ruined lives upon lives. He's just been caught.
Yeah.
Crystal, the children are watching on. Crystal finds out the news. She pulls her children into her and says, "I'm sorry, Rudolph, but I don't want the twins associating with a dishonest reindeer." Insane.
That was good. I like that. That was good.
I almost forgot it halfway through.
Oh man. Whitzy?
So the scene that I chose, I was going to learn No Garden of Roses or No Bed of Roses and sing that number for you, but as Sly mentioned, it hit really close to depression and working from home for a year, and I went, I don't feel like crying on a podcast today.
It's been a rough year. Yeah.
So the scene I chose is Big Ben. I think the full title is like the time whale or something.
Something
Big
like
Ben,
that, yeah.
And he just dropped off Jack Frost, and Jack Frost is going to go off to his own thing. And Big Ben, as he leaves, he goes, "Back to South America," and disappears into the water, never to be seen again. End scene.
Nice. Those are both really good. I ended up going with when they're putting on their show, the big old circus and the Frosties are part of it, and they're getting ready to do their slide. And Frosty, I'm going to try my best to do his voice, but he goes, "As I always say, a family that slides together abides together." And then Crystal says, "But you never say that." And then Chili says, "Stick to the script, Dad. Oh, if Santa doesn't get here soon, we're going to be sticking to everything."
Oh, no. Oh my God.
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, the impression spot on. The line, rewrite it.
Yep.
I'm learning this is another line that my margarita brain went, nope, that doesn't exist. I just heard that for the first line.
Yeah. That was that whole little section was like, okay, I could have been written a little bit better there.
A little bit. But man, that was full of gems.
Yeah. So now it's up to you, listeners. So don't forget to vote, and we'll see who gets a sticker. Probably won't be me. But
good luck, you.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna get it this time. But I gotta know. G.I. Joe. They taught us that knowing is half the battle. What do you think the other half is?
Have your plans laid out better. Make a plan. Actually, just make a plan. Make a plan. That's the whole thing.
It's good advice.
It's okay to mess up, and that doesn't make you evil. But it's also okay to snort glitter.
When Rudolph walks into that dressing room singing this horrible song that he's so sad, we looked at him and we went, "What is that bowl of glitter for?" And he shoves his whole nose in it, and we went,
"Gotta let him do somehow."
And that's why that's my happiest moment.
I was like, this is definitely a drug trip. They're just messing with us now to see if we're paying attention. I remember this.
This is your brain on drugs.
This is your
Oh
nose.
man, those are
on
better
your-
than mine. Mine is so if knowing's half the battle, the other half is not trusting suspicious looking snow wizards with magic amulets.
Solid advice.
I would say though, as someone who was originally from Louisiana and only goes back traditionally in the summer, I would love an amulet to keep me from melting when I go back every year.
That's true.
It's true. Yeah.
The humidity there is like ridiculous.
Well,
Swim.
see, that's the one thing I miss. I am not in Louisiana anymore, and it's still kind of humid here, but nowhere near as much. And
Yeah.
after a good rain and it's like 95% humid, I go, I can breathe again. It's lovely. And my husband's like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, I'm from Louisiana. It's slightly different, but it is different.
Yeah. I dig it. Ladies, this has been so much fun. Like, what do you want to plug? Tell me about your show.
Our show was born out of everything that we've gone through in the last year. Everyone has gone through in the last year. And Sly and I started watching TV over Discord together. Our show is called Bitchwatch, and we are the two bitches watching TV. But we started watching TV together just for fun and going, did you see this plot hole? Like, we're watching the same show. And I'm like, how did this make sense? And what is this? And this person is awful. And why is this the way it is? And it was just us screaming at each other as a way to, just get rid of everything else sucks right now. Let's laugh and make fun of this TV show because it doesn't actually matter.
Right.
And we started for fun rewatching the Dexter series because we had both seen it independently years ago. And we're like, well, let's rewatch Dexter. And within the first episode, actually within, I think, what is it, Sly? The first like few minutes when you see Angel in those sandals.
Yeah.
One of the detectives is at a crime scene and he's basically in closed-toed sandals. And you see a body that's, I'll just say a dead body. And I go, I need you to back that up. I think I just saw that grown man in closed-toed sandals at a crime scene. And it just started with us making jokes like that. And the next day I go, hey, Sly, I was like, you really don't have to say yes to this, but do you want to start a podcast with me? And I don't know, like, I didn't really think this through. I've been thinking about it for 4 hours. I didn't really think this through, but we could call it Bitch Watch and we could just make fun of TV shows and include us making fun of the TV show. And
also the fact I'm an Aries and she's a Cancer. I'm an Aries. So I love to talk. I've wanted to be a radio host for as long as I can talk. So a podcast is perfect. So yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely. Let's do
I've
it.
just been waiting for someone to play victim. I mean, co-host with me. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So our entire first season is done. We watched all of Dexter and it's in 16 episodes. So we, instead of a normal, sit down and watch one episode, listen to us talk for an hour, much like the format of your show here, no knocking at it, but Dexter, is 8 seasons
Expansive,
long.
yeah.
So so we watched half a season at a time and then did an analysis in about an hour and a half for the 6 episodes. So in theory, if the listener wanted to go, well, I really liked season 4, but I don't want to listen to two strangers talk about season 4 for 16 episodes, or excuse me, 12 episodes? I should know. 12 episodes. They could sit down and listen to us talk about it for 2 episodes and be done.
Right.
So
yeah, or catch up or, what have you, especially with the new season of Dexter dropping. It's a lot easier to listen to a few hours of podcast and know the general premise of what happened. So you don't have to sit there and do like us and watch 6 months of TV
and hours and hours. So right now we're in what we're calling our summer season. What's what we're calling summer shorts. So we're burning through shows that only had 1 or 2 seasons, things that are easy to watch. Our first show is Firefly. Then we go on to Freaks and Geeks, a show called
Love it.
And neither of us have seen Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be raw.
Yeah, we start that in a couple of weeks.
Well, it's definitely of its time.
Yeah. And then we move on to a show called Backstrom, which has Rainn Wilson from The Office.
I don't think I know that one.
It was only on Fox for a season and it got canceled mid-season. And I love that show. He was this cranky, almost alcoholic detective who's trying to solve things. And it
was this after The Office?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's got a big beard. It was fantastically written and it was pulled. I can't say anything more than that because Sly hasn't seen it. And then we're watching Harper's Island, which is some kind of horror show or something, right, Sly?
It's something. I can't really say. I mean, if you've watched Harper's Island, you already know. It's something. And then Sharp Objects is what we're closing it out with, which is probably my favorite book and one of my favorite miniseries, and I'm really excited for Whitzy to witness that. So yeah.
So we're burning through 5 shows in 15 weeks, and it'll be a journey.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And I get to edit everything.
I feel your pain then.
No. I will say some of our earlier episodes are a little rough because I was learning, but I still think they're good to listen to.
Right
so,
and
just a little PSA.
Where can they find you? Like social media and stuff like that?
Well, we're available anywhere you listen to podcasts, and we are on Twitter and Instagram at bitchwatchpod all together.
Okay, cool.
And then our personals are tagged from there.
Gotcha. Right on. Good stuff. Yeah. Definitely check them out. It's so much fun. It's a little sassy, which I kind of like.
It's in the title. I feel like, you
got exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. So go check it out. Bitchwatch for sure. And
thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I had fun.
Yeah.
And thanks for enlightening my world to this.
Well, now you know it exists. You didn't make this up in a weird dream.
That's true.
This was good news for you, and you know,
you're not crazy. Maybe crazy for watching it, but that's my fault. So, but thanks again, and I'm going to end it by saying, well, that's the show, folks. A little corny, but expensive. So check us out on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're feeling like Frosty being saved by Jack Frost and Santa, leave us a review on iTunes. Not only does it help us reach more people, but you also get a free sticker. Now, don't forget to vote. Later, dudes.
Welcome to Bitch Watch.
Hi, I'm Sly.
I'm Whitzy.
And we're 2 bitches watching TV.
We're a recap and shit talk show.
That's right. We watch hours and hours and hours of TV, so you don't have to.
You can listen and laugh along with us everywhere you listen to podcasts, and find us on Instagram and Twitter at bitchwatchpod.
Is our show original? No.
Entertaining? We hope so. This is Bitch Watch.